Good morning, everyone. We'll call the meeting of the Butler County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silent prayer, followed by the pledge of allegiance to our country's flag. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Maybe, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The public comment portion of our meeting provides residents and taxpayers of Butler County a reasonable opportunity to comment on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation, which are or may be before the board prior to taking official action. Presentations must be limited to 3 minutes. The chairman has asked me to remind everyone that no personal attacks on the character or reputation of county employees, department heads, or any official will be tolerated. Any speaker doing so may be ruled out of order by the chair. I'll call the names in the order that they appear on the sign-up sheet, and when you come to the podium, please state your name and your municipality of residence. Brian Warren.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Brian Warren, and I've lived in the city of Butler for over 10 years. I'm here to address concerns about items J1 and 2 of today's agenda. So I pose this question, gentlemen, regarding $400,000. Is there a new controller in place yet at the Housing Authority? The last gentleman resigned in December or January. Who is handling or overseeing the taxpayers' money within this dysfunctional agency, as suggested by the Butler Eagle newspaper? Gentlemen, is it prudent to release a large sum of money without certain checks and balances in place and to know how it is to be spent? I would like to speak briefly today about the Housing Authority's poor performance in relation to the Lafayette apartment building, which I have been a resident for over 10 years. With the recent authority's troubles, which have received much attention in the press of late, the residents have been diligently trying to get answers from the authority regarding some serious health, safety and security issues, which have resulted in several robberies and an arrest by the Butler City Police, and the second yearly failure of a brand new heating and cooling system as part of a $3.3 million renovation. Some residents don't feel safe in this building and have been demanding answers and solutions since August of 2013. Commissioner Eckstein has also asked questions in his letter of May the 19th, 2014, which was addressed to all board members and Executive Director O'Malley. Some have stated in the press that they were unaware. Still no answers or solutions. Why? Gentlemen, you cannot run a multi-million-dollar authority in this way. There has been some sort of oversight. It needs some oversight. Ben Holland, the county controller, recently withheld monies and asked for clarity from this authority. Should the commissioners not follow the same example? And now, gentlemen, on a happier note, my thanks go out to Mr. John Campbell from the Facilities Department for assisting me to get a rather large pothole in East Diamond Street filled after emergency work by the PA American Water Company. I consider this a genuine example of public service and action. Thank you, John, and thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir.
James Eckstein.
James Eckstein, Butler Township. On March 22nd, or 26th, on March 26th, I got a letter from Catherine E. Noring. She's a volunteer at the Mark Senior Center. I'd like to read that today. I was moved by it, and I wanted the public to see it here too. This is about the closing of the senior centers. I am a resident of Penmar Plaza Apartments, and we, the people, are not happy about maybe losing our beautiful center here in Mars. We seniors need these services that you want to take away from us. Many of us seniors are not able to travel to other places for our lunches, activities, as we have had this at our center. Something for our seniors to enjoy, and now we are possibly losing our centers, of all things, sending us to other centers without prior knowledge about the change. We have things going on here, such as exercising, dancing, line dancing, yoga, lunches, and fellowship. This is a place where some of us seniors can only get to by living here. It's a shame we seniors would have to be bused somewhere we're not familiar with. And of all things, be bused to unknown places with our walkers, wheelchairs, and canes. Some of us not able to ride the buses. I do believe that all seniors of this county are truly upset about what the county is doing. We need something nice in our lives as we age. We thought we would be able to enjoy as we aged, and we would be able to enjoy our older years here. Now we feel we are not worthy of our senior centers. Shame on whoever thought this up. Think of the cost there is going to be for busing people each day back and forth. Please let us stay at Penmar. Keep our center and our centers around the county open. You are all going to be in our position someday and know the hurt we are experiencing now. For all who want to close our senior centers, please reconsider this decision. This letter was signed by 150 Mars area seniors, 115 seniors, and in this county, a 2-to-1 vote wins. Thank you.
I'd like to say something. Shame on you, Jim, for what you're doing. Beth went down to the Mars Senior Center and told them that it would be open 3 days a week. And the other 2 days, it would be run by the apartment complex that's there. And after she did that, Mr. Eckstein walked in the door and made statements like, Beth doesn't know what she's doing, she's lying to you. He accuses her of living in a real fancy home. She doesn't care about senior citizens. 5 years ago, Butler County almost lost Area on Aging to another organization because the state was about ready to shut us down. Beth Harold has a degree, has her master's degree, and has done an absolutely fantastic job. In fact, a better job than anyone has done in this county in Area on Aging. And for Jim, shame on Jim Eckstein, because he has gone to every one of the centers and accused Beth of lying to them, and she hasn't. In fact, the decision hasn't even been made completely as to what we are going to do, and he's saying we're going to close them, and he's uproot, just like he did at Sunnyview. At Sunnyview, he went into some of the rooms and said, you people are going to be thrown out of this place when we sell it. Today, they're adding on to Sunnyview. They remodeled the rooms. People are thrilled to be there, and we haven't had any complaints. So, Jim, shame on you.
Am I not allowed to rebut that?
No.
See, we're not allowed to rebut each other. Dale can say whatever he wants about me, truly fictitious, and I'm not allowed to rebut it due to the carrier,
Peggy Aberson.
my carrier. It's an absolute lie. Okay?
My name is Peggy Abersold, Middlesex Township. The commissioners appoint members of the board to the Tri-County Workforce Investment Board. The best way to develop the local economy is to reduce the unemployment rate and get people back to work. A strong workforce is a strong economy. Job fairs are a good way for employers to build its workforce. On Wednesday, April 15th, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., the annual Spring Job and Career Fair will be held at the Butler Days Inn. The Career Fair is hosted by the PA Career Link and the Butler County Chamber of Commerce. The job fair is a great way for job seekers to meet with employers face-to-face. Since February 17, 2015, I have been introducing myself to Butler County residents, many of whom are age 60 and over. The age 60 and over individuals have voiced concern over the fact that when senior centers were initially established, the purpose was to keep seniors in their local neighborhoods. Convenience was mentioned, walking distance was mentioned, developing a local network of support for those who have family members out of state or no family at all. Those individuals who spoke with me saw local senior centers as friends helping friends, which helps them stay independent in their local neighborhood. From their perspective, which I must agree, it is not good to close local senior centers. Thank you. Peggy Ebersole, Middlesex Township.
That's all for public comment.
Thank you. We have minutes from our March 9th and March 11th meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes? Is there a second? I will second it. Discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Proclamations?
None, sir.
Old business?
Also none.
Okay. Any to new business?
Under new business, Ann Brown was not able to be here this morning because of a conflicting meeting, so she's asked me to present these items on her behalf. Under the Children and Youth Agency, we're seeking your approval of a contract amendment between Children and Youth and the Juvenile Probation Department and the Butler County Alliance for Children to increase the contract by $50,000 for the period of July 1st, 2014 through June 30th, 2015 for operating and renovation costs needed for the new Child Advocacy Center. We ask your approval.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? I will second it. Discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to speak on this.
Okay.
Look, this is a new agency. I believe it's a 501c3 that they developed. They came about for human services. These prior to starting up this, I thought we handled it very well. It was handled at Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. There was ways around it. So they developed a new agency and told us what it would cost to operate it. Well, in the last 3 months, it seems that they can't find $50,000 to operate. They're already going under in the first year. And guess who they asked for a bailout? The taxpayers. Now, this is very interesting in my packet. They have in here, this is a total of $50,000 for operating and renovating costs. But we don't have any budget of what they're gonna, is it $49,000 going to wages and $1,000 going to renovation? We don't know. It's not in the packet. It is not in the packet, and apparently, this is wrong. This is flat out wrong. If you want to start up a charity, start it up yourself and come up with a plan to make it work. We're bailing this out. It's going to be a continual bailout, or else they'll just throw it in the budget next year. $50,000 under for the last 3 months we're funding on this, and nobody knows. They didn't tell us if these guys voted. They've got information I don't, because I don't know if the money's going to wages or renovations. We know it's going to something, but we don't know the percentage. Okay, the way they are spending money here, you would think it wasn't their money. Oh, wait a minute. It's the taxpayers' money. It's not their money. Okay? It's ridiculous. To bring a proposal forth here, Joyce Ainsworth planned this out. I guess you're going to say I'm discriminating against her now, because they thought this up. Don't the taxpayers, aren't they, shouldn't we know where the money's going and what's going to happen in the future? I mean, I wasn't for it in the first place. They're spending the money, we don't even know where it's going, and I believe these two gentlemen are going to approve it. Maybe they can just rebut me here and tell us how great it is and what the money is going to be used for, and what percentage is going to wages and renovation. I think the public would love to know. Thank you very much.
This is about kids. This is going to make the kids who are abused treated better. It's going to help them get through the trauma that they experience. If Jim doesn't know what it's all about, shame on him. All it takes is a phone call to Joyce Ainsworth. He doesn't have to come to the public meeting and badmouth our head of our Children and Youth Department, or now our Human Services Department, like he's been doing for 3 years now. All he has to do is make that phone call. She came to our office and briefed us. I don't know if you were there or not, Jim. If you weren't, it's your fault, because she had a meeting with all 3 commissioners and explained it all. Those in favor?
Well, I'd like to say this. I'd like to rebut that. Number
right.
one, you didn't still answer the question. My question to you is, what percentage, since you got briefed, what percentage is going to wages and what percentage is going to renovation? Since you were briefed and I wasn't, can you explain that to the public?
I do not know that offhand. We'd have to consult with Joyce to find that out.
Don't you think we ought to table it before we find out if all the money's going to wages or renovations? Or, I mean, we're spending $50,000. Don't you think we should
When
know?
Joyce came and presented it to us, we felt she explained it well enough that we should accept it. And I'm voting yes.
I was not notified.
You were at that
notified.
meeting, I
You
believe.
were there.
I was at the meeting and
Yep.
she explained the percentages, but
She
nobody
didn't
knows what
explain
they
the
are.
percentages, she presented the program.
Well, she did that, she presented it 9 months ago and she said we weren't gonna have a deficit. That's what she said. I was at that meeting and there was no deficit, it was in the budget. This is over the budget. You're approving money over the budget, correct?
Is it over the budget?
It's over the budget.
Who says it's over the budget?
Well, they had a budget and they need more money, so it must be over.
Well,
It doesn't say we're increasing their budget, Jim. It says we're increasing the contract to this organization.
Well, why don't we table it until we can find out? I'd like to make a motion to table this until we can find out what the criteria is. I think we owe that to the taxpayers, okay?
We have a motion to table. Is there a second? The motion dies for lack of a second. Those in favor of the main motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No,
The motion carries.
Next, under the Drug and Alcohol Program, we're asking your approval to appoint Jeff Bailey to the Drug and Alcohol Advisory Board for a 3-year term from March 2015 to March 2018, replacing Richard Eagle Jr. We ask your approval.
I'd like to make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Next, under Human Services, the approval of a contract amendment with the ARC of Butler County to add a new program to serve Butler County clients. This would be semi-independent, unlicensed residential habitation. Community homes, 3 individual homes eligible at $71.98 per day, and then a portion that is community homes, 3 individual home ineligible, an additional $2.87 per day. We ask your approval.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Last, under mental health, early intervention, intellectual disabilities, the approval to reappoint the following members to the MHEI-ID Advisory Board for additional 3-year terms as follows. Sandra Montgomery for a term from March 1st, 2015 through February 28th, 2018, and Roger Kelly,
I'd like to separate those if I could.
certainly.
Mike, can we separate
It's up to the
those?
board, they may.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
We ask your approval on Sandra Montgomery.
Is there a motion to
I'll
approve
make the
that?
motion.
Is there a second? I will second it. Discussion?
Yeah, discussion. Can somebody answer to me, is her husband Dave Montgomery the solicitor for CYS?
I have no idea.
Does anybody know if her husband is Dave Montgomery, the head or solicitor for CYS?
I don't know, Jim.
Okay, well, look, until we find out, we're voting on things here. I think that we ought to have impartiality on these boards. Now, how can we make the decision with not knowing how intertwined the government is? Is anybody that's husband's job, let's say that this is his wife, and nobody seems to know. I'd love to know, does anybody else here in the audience know, or and nobody from Joyce is in here, nobody from CYS is here? Okay, well, look, who is in the world, if your husband has a job and he makes $80,000 a year, is going to put that job in jeopardy, your husband's job, when they're on the board and give a fair and impartial input? Nobody is.
What?
Nobody's going to judge that. That's if it is. I don't know if it is. The other guys don't know,
This
so.
is a different board than
Yes,
what
and
you
this
were.
is
Completely different board.
Well, I'm aware of that. I'm aware.
Well, then what's
It's
the
still a
problem?
government, it's still a government agency. It's a government agency. If you rock the boat, your husband can lose his job. That's my opinion, okay? That's my opinion, and it makes a lot to me. If you guys don't think it means anything.
They're
that's
no
your
relation,
vote.
Commissioner.
Huh?
They're no relation. That's not his wife.
It's not his wife?
No.
Okay, but nobody knew that before you.
I just found out. I asked for you. And I got
Okay,
an answer.
I appreciate that, Mike. I really appreciate it. Okay. I'm done.
Those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No, and I'm making that no on the fact, look, I don't even know, I didn't do enough exploration to make a vote on it. I didn't know who she was. I'm not voting on somebody I didn't know. Whether that's right or wrong, the other commissioners didn't know either. They can vote, okay.
We
Next,
have
we're
many,
asking,
many couples in our county who work here, couples, so even if she was his wife, I would not see a problem. All right, a motion to approve Roger Kelly for this same board.
I'll
yes,
make
his
the
term
motion.
would be April 1st, 2015 through March 31st, 2018.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, under Veteran Services, an announcement from John Cypher.
Good morning, John.
Hi.
Good morning, Commissioners. From the publicly announced my retirement on April Fool's.
Don't get me excited.
Can I have the letter?
Don't fall over, Dan.
Well, I'm just gonna get up and come and get the letter.
Hey, as you're aware, for our Desert Storm veterans, there was a state bonus that was allotted to our Desert Storm veterans, in-country Desert Storm veterans, $75 per month up to 5 months for a total of $525 complete bonus. That's coming to an end August 31st of this year. And just want to make an announcement for all those Desert Storm veterans, closing off, make sure that they sign up for the state bonus. The state has always given a bonus from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and now our Desert Storm veterans as well. So there is legislation pending to extend that for 3 years, but if we don't get on it and it doesn't pass, then I hate to see my fellow Desert Storm veterans miss out on the state bonus.
John, what do they have to do to qualify? Do they have to serve over there, or could they have been in the service during that time, or what's?
They had to have been a state resident at the time of service, or an active duty state resident at the time of service, and yes, they had to have been in operations to be eligible for that. And they can call our office. We have the applications in our office.
And what's your phone number?
724-284-5352. 724-284-5352.
And the deadline again, John, is?
August 31st, 2015.
Okay.
Thank you, John, for taking care of our veterans.
Oh, thank you very much. It is my pleasure to take care of our veterans. If I can make one more quick announcement.
Sure.
We got a few things going on that I want everybody to be aware of. We are planning for our Memorial Day season that's coming up, so we'll be actively involved in doing that. But I also want to make an announcement that with the Blue Sox, we're coming to an agreement. We're going to have a Red, White, and Blue Sox Day, June 14th, which is Flag Day. I refer to it as Army's birthday. So the first 300 veterans will get in free for that, and we'll have to show ID for that. So it'll be your VA ID card, Pennsylvania driver's license with veteran status on your driver's license, or the state veterans ID card, or your active duty ID card, reserve ID card, national ID card, or your retired ID card. And we do that because we want to keep the lines moving and the honor system's out the door right now. But the first 300 veterans will get into the free. The Disabled American Veterans is going to help sponsor it, so anybody that wants to make a tax deduction donation to the Disabled American Veterans will help sponsor that too.
Thank you, and thanks for not retiring. You do a fine job for our veterans.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Yeah, be excused.
Yes.
Yeah, John.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to, well, I was going to say the same thing. I'm very happy to be chosen to be on the Veterans Affairs Committee at CCAP with you, and we need your expertise there. He's sort of like a liaison and make sure we know where the issues for the veterans at CCAP. So I'm glad you're not retiring too, and that's not an April Fool's joke.
No, thank you.
Okay,
All right.
thanks, John.
Thank you.
Next, under the District Attorney's Office, Scott Roscoe.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Scott.
This morning, we're asking for the authorization to apply for the VOJO grant. It's the Victim of Juvenile Offenders grant, and this, the money is to be used for an advocate out of our office. It's an 18-month grant period. It's a non-competitive grant, so if we apply for it, we get it. It's in the amount of $43,183.
I'd like to make that motion.
Is there a second? Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks. Okay. Any other questions for me? If it's okay if I can be released here?
Does anybody have any questions for Scott? Kim,
Okay.
or?
All right, great. Thank you.
No?
Have a great day.
Thanks,
Okay.
Scott.
Next, under the Controller's Office, Ben Holland.
Good morning.
Morning, Ben.
First item, your approval is to migrate the retirement payroll account with ADP from the Workforce Now platform to the PCPW platform. This is a cost-neutral migration for the county. ADP is no longer supporting the former platform, which is PCPW, so they're essentially forcing us out of it.
Is there a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And for the second approval, I teamed up with our county treasurer, Diane Warburger, to ask your approval to establish a new company code with ADP for the processing and payment of election day workers. The cost to the county from ADP remains the same at 72 cents per check. And so for the election workers out there, we feel that this will expedite the payment process for them, in addition to what we believe will be a more efficient and cost-effective process for the county.
Is there a motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, I'll make the
I
motion.
would like to commend you and Diane for doing this. This has been a bone of contention, I guess, for a couple of years due to new regulations that couldn't pay them the way we formerly paid them. And I know that your office and Diane's probably too, put in a lot of time generating these checks manually for the workers. And the workers at our polls put in, 13, 14-hour days. And they don't really get paid very much, so it's imperative that we pay them as soon as we can. So I thank you for doing this. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, under Court Administration, Tom Holman.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I have three things for your consideration this morning. First, we'd like to seek your permission to apply for the 2015-2016 Adult Probation Day Reporting Center grant that would come to us from GCCD in the amount of $340,000. I'd like your permission to apply.
Make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
What are the odds of getting this or not getting it?
Well, the odds are very good. This is our 11th year of applying.
Okay.
We would suspect that there's nothing that's going to keep this from happening. This particular grant actually saves the state money, so they're usually quite anxious to make this happen.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'm looking for your approval, please, for a contract amendment that's currently for our SCRAM monitors that are put, that's the alcohol monitoring ankle bracelets. Currently, we contract with AANP. They've been purchased by VigilNet, so I'm just seeking your permission to change the contract, and there is no change to the cost in the contract.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
And finally, I'm asking for your permission to submit an amendment to PCCD for the 2014-2015 Day Reporting Center grant. They've indicated that there are some monies available. We're going to be asking, with your permission, for $20,000 to assist with treatment in the Day Reporting Center. Ask for your permission for this.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Tom.
Next, under Emergency Services, Steve Weishaus was not able to be here this morning, and so he's asked me to present this on his behalf. He's seeking approval to renew a preventative maintenance contract with Alternative Power Sources. This is for the 911 Center's main generator, their portable generators, and the tower site generators, in the amount of $3,070 for 1 year, with automatic renewal each subsequent year, and authorization for the chairman to sign. We ask your approval.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
One question, Amy. Is this the same for all 3 years? I just thought I did pick that up on the 23rd. Do you know?
No, I'm sorry, I don't
Okay,
know.
we can find that. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
That was an aye for me, too. I thought we just said 1 year.
Yeah, but it's automatic renewal for,
Oh, okay, you're gonna find that out.
yeah.
Okay.
Next, under Facilities and Operations, John Campbell.
Morning, Commissioner.
Morning, John.
Today I have a number of change orders for the Government Center Annex that I'd like to give you approval on with permission for the Chief Clerk to sign. The first change order will be PCO 18, or PCO GC 18, and this is for the amount of $15,030.90 credit for the deletion of hardware and security revisions for the Government Center Annex. the approval.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. We like those ones for the credit. Thank
Oh,
you.
we're doing pretty good today.
Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
The second one I have is PCO GC 21, which would be change order number 12. And this is a credit for the frozen sprinkler line in the government center for the amount of $1,355.83.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The third one I have for you is PCO HC3, which would be evening contract change order number 1. This is the amount of $1,559 for East West Manufacturing for additional work for the roof penetrations.
Is there a motion to accept this?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next one would be PCO HC4, which would be change order number 2 for East West Manufacturing. This would be hot water piping to cabin heater and connector hallway for the amount of $1,596.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries.
Last thing I have for you is the ratification of, it would be PCO 8, and this is for the sound system for the government center, or the annex building for the first and second floor cubicle areas, in the amount of $29,871.57. This is moving it out of the furniture budget and doing a change order on it because it was not under a state contract and we could not purchase it through the state.
This is revenue neutral because the money was in the furniture budget.
This was in the furniture budget, it's just going to be a budget adjustment.
Okay. I'll make the motion. Is there a second? Paul will second it. Discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to discuss this. We did have a few things on the prison, like the roof, for instance, that we couldn't, there was a problem with the roof, and we had to spend more money than we'd like. I'm going to vote no on this today. Look, this is let me make this clear. This is a voluntary expenditure. This is a want by the these agencies. This is not required. We don't have it now. And I think whenever we have some things that go wrong that truly need to be addressed, I think this is a place where we can cut $30,000. $30,000 we can change. We have suspended ceilings in those offices. I think we can put it in at almost no change in cost with our own people after the fact. I think we ought to make a budget cut here. We had some things like fire doors, roof slope, that you can't change. You know, we had to fix these things when we're doing the building. This is voluntary. There's no state mandate for this, and I'm going to vote no on this. I think we should stay wherever we could, or wherever we can.
Well, there's certainly no state mandate that we put insulation in the building, but there is a state mandate that the information discussed in the children and youth meetings is confidential. And this soundproofing will maintain that confidentiality between the offices. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
I'd like to rebut that.
Okay.
I'd like to rebut that. I certainly don't see if you put insulation. I did vote to put insulation in the walls. We had no insulation in the wall cavity. We did have insulation on the outside of the building. I don't know. We can never get to the wall cavity again. So I'm at a loss how you can equate wall cavity insulation, which is behind the drywall, and you can never get to it again, to something that can be put in a drop ceiling. So I'm very puzzled by that analogy, and look, I'm concerned about it. But one person had it ripped out because they couldn't stand the noise. You know, there's a white noise, there's a background noise, and some people, I'm bothered by it. I have a hearing problem, and I'm bothered by this background noise. So, whether we have a brand new building, I'm sure if we were discussing something confidential, we could have lots of rooms that you could discuss it with and not be open in an open cubicle. I saw the plans on the building. There's lots of rooms that it can have privacy in, and you don't have this constant noise, white noise there, okay? Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No,
Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks, John.
Next, under Parks and Recreation, Gary Pinkerton.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
good morning.
I'm here this morning to request permission to submit a grant application to the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for a shade shelter as part of the dog park development at Alameda Park.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
So that everyone is aware, we need the authorization also of the passing of a resolution by the board since the approval to submit the application. What the resolution does is permit the chairman of the Board of Commissioners to sign the signature page on the application.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Gary, can I ask you to say that was Jade's dog park, or?
Yes.
Okay, my
Yeah,
hearing
yeah.
wasn't well. I think that since you put so much money into it,
Yes.
that we ought to know whose dog it is.
It's James Dog
Jade.
Park, yes.
Yeah, okay. Sorry I missed that.
Item number 2, I'm requesting permission for the approval of a change order with Specialty Pools in the amount of $3,800 for the renovation work at Alameda Park Pool. The change order is in regards to the replacement of the inlets into the pool. Originally, we planned to hook on the existing inlets, but once opening up the back side of the pool, we discovered that we were unable to connect onto those.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Also, as part of the pool renovation project, I'm requesting approval of change order number 2 for the replacement of the Alameda Park pool heater in the amount of $9,299.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
I'd like to say something on that. I really appreciate, here's an example of something that we had to do. The contractor caught the wall on the heater was burnt out. And it's hard to tell that, I mean, you just can't see it from the outside, just giving it a cursory overview. There was a major problem there, and it burnt through the firewall on the heater. Well, if we do the new park and we don't have a heater, I mean, as many people won't want to come to the park because we don't have a heater. So fortunately, we caught this. It's a change we really need. Gary came and explained it. I'm very thankful he worked the price. I think with Gary and the contractor gave us 2 very fair prices on making these 2 changes. I'm very appreciative of that. You know, both these change orders were really, really good, Gary. Thank you very much for that, okay?
Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Hey,
carries.
Gary, can you just, so that people who don't know what's going on with the dog park, just explain how it's coming together, okay? Just take a second and.
Sure. Well, very honestly, we're in a we have land use approval from the township. In this process, the current our landscape architect is developing the final construction drawings and bid package for the dog park, which we plan to seek permission from the board to bid at the end of April. The funding for the dog park is being provided by a private donor. The funding is due to the fact that they lost their dog, and they want to do the dog park in memorial of their dog. Very honestly, right now we have a writer writing up an article for us that'll include the actual design, and we'll be submitting it to the Butler and the Trib and other papers for them to offer. But it's just easy for someone to write about.
This is a beautiful addition to our Alameda Park at no cost to the county.
That is correct. And very honestly, Commissioners, we already get calls from people in other counties wanting to know when the dog park could be finished because they want to bring their dogs to use the park.
My remark, that I made, Monday.
Go ahead if you want.
I asked Gary Monday if we were going to have an out-of-county fee for dogs coming into the county.
And my response to that was, I'm running for a election, you aren't, so.
There's an out-of-county dog camp.
I don't think we ought to charge dogs double the price to come. I thought that was a bad idea.
But again, it's getting a lot more interest than ever anticipated. We hope to have the park with a soft opening in the fall, and then shut back down, and then getting the turf the opportunity to catch and grow, and then reopen in the spring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under Commissioners, the first item is an agreement with the Butler County Housing Authority for the administration of PA Housing Affordability and Rehabilitation Enhancement Funds. It's known as FAIR funds, in the amount of $100,000, matched by Recorder of Deeds Act 137 funds in the amount of $100,000 for the first-time home buyer assistance program. The board resolved to support this submission via Resolution 2014-18 last year. We ask for your approval.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next is an agreement with the Butler County Redevelopment Authority, again for the administration of FAIR funds, this time in the amount of $300,000, matched by Recorder of Deeds Act 137 funds in the amount of $75,000. This is for the owner-occupied residential rehabilitation program, and the board resolved to support this submission via Resolution 2014-19 last year. We ask your approval.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it. I'd like to talk about this.
Okay.
I'd like to say this, and Brian earlier said that he was concerned about this money. Well, so was I. I had a meeting with the solicitor about this, and we took precautions. We delayed this about a month until we could find out. The county commissioner's office delayed this about a month until we can have some assurances about both of these expenditures. I'm proud of that. The solicitor checked it out. He wrote some different language in there. They are under new leadership there now. I commend the Housing Authority for doing that. They have the Erie director helping us, and I really appreciate that. But we did look into this, and look, these programs we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater here. This $300,000 goes to insulation, weather stripping, and things that are really important to low income and seniors. So my answer, Mike English went over this. He answered my questions satisfactorily. He felt good about it, and so did I. So we didn't do this just willy-nilly, and this is an ongoing program. Just so the public knows that, this isn't new, and we think the things are to ensure this are in the contract. Thank you very much.
I'd like to make a comment there too. I've talked with the interim director of our housing authority, Mr. McNerney, and I feel very confident that he's very qualified to do the job. We certainly went through a bad time there, and hopefully we're over it now. The housing authority will continue to do what they're supposed to do. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is the renewal of a lease agreement with the Butler County Historical Society for 23 parking spaces that the county leases at $40 per space per month. The term of the renewal is April 1st, 2015 through March 31st, 2016. We ask your approval.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Next is your approval to exercise the option for a 1-month extension in the term of the lease with the Butler City Parking Authority at no price increase. This is for the office space in the tier garage that adult probation currently occupies. The original lease ends July 31st. This action will extend the term to August 31st, and this is to allow sufficient time for the annex to be finished, the human services departments to move over to the annex, and then adult probation to be able to move into the space vacated by human services. We ask your approval.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the last item is ratification of the approval to accept the pharmaceutical antitrust consumer protection settlement in the amount of $410.50.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second
Those
that.
in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all for new business.
We have a motion to approve the budgetary transfer.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the new hires?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. The motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the travel request?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? No. The motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the requisitions?
So moved.
Is there a second? I will second it.
I'd like to speak on this.
Okay.
Look, it came through, I've been battling this ever since I got here, for the county to buy economy cars and get good gas mileage. I think we have a temporary lull in the price of gasoline. I lost this battle. The other two commissioners signed off on buying a Toyota Camry. Look, not that long ago, my memories is we almost had the collapse of the big three, Chrysler, Ford, and Chevy. And should government entities buy, no, they're going to tell me this Camry that they bought is made in the United States plant and all this. But when we can buy, a government entity can buy American-made car. I own two Ford Focuses, a 2005 with 175,000 miles on it, and I own a 2014 Focus. It's got about 6 airbags. It drives unbelievably, and with maybe 35,000 miles on it. Okay, and they've been really good cars. Focus is the world's #1 car around the world. Why shouldn't we buy a Malibu, a Chevy Cruze, or a Ford Focus? I wanted to buy a Fusion. It was delayed, but he said we can't wait. That's not what a recent study said. We're overcard. The county is overcard. We had an agency come in, Bill Hadden come in, a car rental agency, and we have 4 extra cars. Now we can't, we just have to buy this foreign car. Look, I'm old-fashioned. I think that, if we're doing Marcellus shale drilling, we should use steel from United States Steel. I know some of it, the governments just give handouts to the subsidies to the steel companies, to the car companies, and it's not really fair competition. So look, I was for buying I wasn't for buying any car, to be honest with you, because I think we're overcard. But I lost on the Fusion. I'm going to stick by that. I'm going to vote this down for a lousy, $500 or $600 more. We could have had an American-made car. I think we're making the wrong choice, and I didn't even think we needed a car. Thank you very much.
Okay, my comment on this is, last time I looked at cars, I bought a Toyota a number of years ago. I don't have one now, but it was 90% made in the United States. They have to list that on the sticker on the windows. Even the engine was cast in the United States. And that's more than some of the big three make in the United States. And who knows who owns these companies? I'm sure if we would all look at our mutual funds, perhaps, and our pension funds, we'd find foreign stocks in there. So I go by the advice of our department heads. Marty Hoover's been here a long time. I trust Marty's judgment. He said this is what we should buy. I agree with him. All in favor, say
Well,
aye.
I'd like to say this to rebut that. Marty Hoover and I have butted heads since I got here. He's still in the Stone Age where thinks that a 4-cylinder engine cannot, and the safety features they put in cars now. My Focus has 6 airbags in there. I mean, he's got, what's wrong with efficiency and gas mileage? Do we need to have our entire fleet 4-wheel drive cars? Bill says that Marty should make that decision. The only trouble is, Marty wasn't elected to office. We were elected to control the price of gasoline use and do the right thing. To not have one economy car in the county, not one, is almost absurd. The state does not do that. The state of Pennsylvania doesn't do that. So I'm against that, and I'm against this wholesale thing. Why elect the commissioners when the department head overrides everything we do? I don't think it's right, okay? Thank you.
Well, Carry this a little further, the department head does not override everything we do. We hire department heads. If we're not satisfied with our department heads, then we should fire them. We shouldn't micromanage them. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. A motion to approve the check register.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congress time is the meeting. Kayla.
Thank you, Commissioners. This is about the county senior centers. Commissioner Pinkerton, you said earlier that Beth visited the Mars Senior Center and told them they'd be open 3 days a week.
She did. And she no more left there, and everyone seemed to be settled down, and Jim showed up and really badmouthed her to the senior center. And consequently, put an uproar again. And he has done that on other occasions, and it's just wrong. Shame on him. I mean, it's a shame.
Does that mean that, has any decision been made concerning the senior center? Does that mean Mars isn't one of them slated to be closed?
You know what? There hasn't been a decision made on any of them. There has not been, to my knowledge, there has not been a decision. They're working on trying to put together what they want to do. And when they do, they'll present it. Jim's gone out and told everyone we're closing them, and that's not true. We're not going to close all of them. And I don't know if we'll close any of them.
Thank you. Commissioner Eckstein, did you make comments to seniors, or have you made comments to seniors stating that Beth is lying to them, something to that effect?
Look, there's a pattern that runs in this county. If the other two commissioners say they're exploring selling Sunnyview, it's sold, okay? If the county commissioners say, we're exploring building a new building, we're building a $12.1 million building, okay? They didn't get elected. When they got elected, I was sitting beside them. They didn't say they were going to sell Sunnyview, and they didn't say they were going to spend $12.1 million on a new building before paying down debt. We have extreme amount of debt on the prison. Now they come up with some convoluted scheme. Beth Harold never went to senior centers, hardly at all, to talk to them about this issue. They did nothing to increase the people at the senior centers. That is fact, okay? Beth Harold, I made it there before she did on some. She heard I was going, so she made it ahead of me. His analogy there is pure hearsay. That is hearsay. He's saying that he wasn't there. Ask the two commissioners this. I went to all 9 senior centers. You can't go and improve something if you don't know what they're like. I did go to all 9 senior centers. They asked me to help them on certain issues. I am doing that. For him to say here that I went and fired up senior citizens of the cause, look, they doing it. They started at Clearview Mall, handed out flyers, and Beth told people that she was consolidating the senior centers. That is the truth. And I didn't initiate this, Beth Harold did, okay? And I'll gladly debate that, but I'm not allowed to debate. See, they stop me from speaking. Dale just wants to say what he wants about me with no input from me. That's their game, okay?
It is true, though, that nothing's set in stone and nothing has been done yet.
Yeah, there's a pattern. The pattern is 2-to-1 wins. You know, they'll just do whatever they want. That is the pattern. You know, they just vote on it, and they dictate policy, and Beth Harold, this was her initiative. This was Beth Harold's initiative, okay? Who does she think, you know, why did she do that? Did she go and talk to the seniors? If the press could please answer this. Why don't you go ask the seniors if she came around to all 9 senior centers before she made this move and inquired what they thought would be best for them? Okay? Please do it for me. Please ask them if she cared enough and they came around and asked their opinion and they tried to make it get better. They did not. Okay? I asked that. I did not incite a riot. You know, I did not do it to the seniors. Beth Harold started at Clearview Mall. They came to me, the Slippery Rock Senior Center came to us with 12 letters, and I went out to investigate, okay? Whatever Dale wants to dream up, that that he wasn't there. Okay, I was. Ask them if he went. Ask them if the other 2 commissioners cared enough to go to the centers. That's, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, that's all my questions. Thanks.
Kim?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.